Welcome to my channel Young and the Restless Official, where you can get news about. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow, and I am your buddy. Now let's get started. Young and the Restless, YNR, spoilers indicate that Audra is an official thing now. Tucker McCall, Trevor St. John, recently promised he was over Ashley Abbott, Eileen Davidson, which opened the door for Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, to allow him back into her life, both for business and pleasure. The jury is out as to whether Audra is just using him for money, power, and personal gain. However, it's hard not to see the brunette has a soft spot in her heart for her mentor, fellow schemer, and bedmate. Still, has Tucker himself realized that Audra can give him something he's always yearned for? The Young and the Restless spoilers, the Devon Hamilton Winters factor. YNR spoilers note that Tucker has never had a family of his own. While does have a son, he found out about Devon Hamilton Winters, Bryden James, later on in life. He never got to have the little moments with him growing up. After years of lying and scheming, Tucker has managed to turn Devon off of any kind of relationship and has been cut off. As a result, he's also losing precious time with his grandson Dominic Newman Abbott Winters Chancellor, River and Rain Ware. Tucker has no family of his own, which may be the reason he can't understand Ashley's bond with the Abbotts. But could Audra change all that? YNR spoilers, Audra Charles isn't exactly the nurturing type. Audra has shown a little bit more emotion than usual as of late. Especially when it comes to her dealings with Nikki Newman's, Melody Thomas Scott, alcohol abuse issue. Still, fans know that Audra isn't exactly the nurturing type. In fact, it's hard to tell if having a family lands within any of her life goals, even if it's in the far future. She seemed very upset when she had a miscarriage with Noah Newman, Rory Gibson, back in the day. However, that doesn't mean she wants children in the long run. Still, if she did, and if Audra lasted the long haul, it would be interesting to see them eventually get married and possibly have a family. Even one child will allow Tucker the opportunity to be a father, and give him a chance at being a good one, this time around. Could Audra end up having a family together? Have your say, below. Tune into your favorite CBS soap each day to catch all the drama and visit this site often for the best Young and the Restless updates, spoilers, and news. The clouds over Genoa City were a familiar shade of gray as Tucker McCall gazed out the window of his suite at the athletic club. His reflection stared back at him, a man haunted by past mistakes and lost opportunities. He had always been a man who coveted power, wealth, and influence. But as the years rolled on, Tucker had come to realize that all of his worldly possessions couldn't fill the void in his heart, a void left by the absence of a true family. In the dimly lit room, Tucker swirled the whiskey in his glass, the amber liquid catching the light as he took a contemplative sip. His thoughts drifted to Devon, the son he never fully embraced, the son he pushed away with his ruthless ambition. The regrets were many, but the past couldn't be changed. Yet, as life in Genoa City had proven time and time again, there was always a chance for redemption, for a new beginning. A soft knock on the door pulled Tucker from his thoughts. He placed the glass on the table and walked over to answer. There stood Audra Charles, her dark eyes shimmering with an intensity that always intrigued him. She was young, ambitious, and undeniably captivating. But there was something more about her, something Tucker had only begun to understand. Audra, Tucker greeted, his voice carrying a hint of surprise. I wasn't expecting you. Tucker closed the door behind her and gestured for her to sit. Audra moved gracefully to the sofa, her gaze never leaving his. She was a woman who knew what she wanted, and Tucker admired that. It was a trait they shared, a drive for success, a hunger for more. But what did that mean for them? Could their shared ambition evolve into something deeper? I'm listening, Tucker said, taking a seat across from her. Audra leaned forward, her hands clasped together as she spoke. We've been dancing around this for a while now, Tucker. We both know there's a connection between us, something more than just business. But if we're going to make this work, we need to be honest with each other. Tucker's brow furrowed as he studied her. Honesty has never been my strong suit, Audra. You know that. Audra nodded, acknowledging his truth. I do, but it's time to change that. You've spent your life building empires, accumulating wealth, and chasing power. But what has it all gotten you? You're still alone, Tucker. No real family, no one to share your life with. Her words cut through him like a knife. It was the painful reality he'd been trying to ignore. Tucker was a man with many regrets, but his biggest regret was not having the family he longed for, a family that could bring him the peace he'd never found. I've hurt a lot of people, Tucker admitted, his voice tinged with remorse. Especially Devon. I tried to force him into being the man I wanted him to be, instead of accepting him for who he is. And now? I'm not sure there's any way to fix that. Audra's expression softened, and she reached out to place a hand on his. It's not too late, Tucker. Devon may have his guard up, but he's still your son. And maybe there's another way to build the family you've always wanted. Tucker's gaze locked with hers, searching for the meaning behind her words. What are you saying, Audra? She took a deep breath, her eyes reflecting a vulnerability Tucker hadn't seen before. What if we started our own family, Tucker? You and me. We've both made our fair share of mistakes, but together, we could create something real, something lasting. The proposition stunned him. Tucker had never imagined himself settling down again, not after all the chaos and destruction his past relationships had brought. But as he looked into Audra's eyes, he saw something he hadn't seen in a long time: hope. A family. Tucker repeated, the word feeling foreign on his tongue. You really think we could make that work? Audra's lips curled into a confident smile. I do. We're both strong-willed, but we understand each other. We know what it means to fight for what we want, and I think we could build something meaningful together. A family that isn't just about power or control, but about love, trust, and loyalty. Tucker's heart raced as he considered her proposal. He had always been a man of action, not one to dwell on possibilities. But the idea of having a real family, of finally finding the peace he had been searching for, was more tempting than anything he had ever pursued. I want that, Tucker said, his voice firm with determination. I want a family, Audra. But it won't be easy. My past, it has a way of catching up with me. Audra squeezed his hand, her grip strong and reassuring. We'll face it together, Tucker. Whatever comes our way, we'll deal with it as a team. You don't have to do this alone anymore. For the first time in years, Tucker felt a glimmer of hope. Maybe, just maybe, he could have the life he had always wanted, a life filled with love, with family, with purpose. Audra had given him a chance at redemption, a chance to build something that mattered.